Tennessee's Wild Side is a presentation of the Jackson Foundation.
Hi friends, welcome to the Wild Side. I'm Steve Hall. If you look up the definition of myotonic goats, you'll find they're not just any goats, they're Tennessee fainting goats. They're distinguished by falling over with a stiffened body if they're suddenly startled. They first came to Lewisburg in Marshall County in the 1800s, but our story today takes us to Cross Plains, Tennessee in Robertson County, then to Springfield, and back to Cross Plains where we meet a delightful woman who is keeping the breed alive and thriving.
Hey babies, hey babies, hey babies. This is Lily. This is Dolly. This is Daphne. This is Darla.
A wife and mother of 4 grown children finds her nest still very full. 20 pregnant Tennessee fainting goats run to Lana Osborne for love and affection. They also know she might be carrying some crackers.
Come on, Anna. Good girl, good girl. There you go, there you go. Good girl, good girl. Good girl, Astrid.
These goats are the direct descendants of the first 4 fainting goats brought to Tennessee. Although a Tennessean now, just like her goats, Lana was also brought here from another land.
I spent the first 12 years of my life in Europe. My dad was in the military, and I was born in England, and I was raised in France and Germany.
Once a world traveler, Lana now finds her feet firmly planted in Robertson County, a place she's called home for over 30 years.
When I moved to Tennessee, I met a farmer, and I married a farmer, and we live in an old house that belonged to his great-grandfather, and so it's a century farm. It's been in the family since 1870, and it's just a real nice old home. And his grandfather built all these really neat buildings, and the barn where I keep my goats was his mule barn.
But before Lana's adventurous life segued into successful goat breeding, she was known around these parts as a distinguished journalist.
I worked for the Robertson County Times, which was owned by the Tennessean, and it was in Springfield, Tennessee. And I worked there for 17 years. And I wrote a column. I was able to go out and find interesting people and write about, and I enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun.
And now we have found her. And so has the Women's Wednesday Study Club in Springfield, where interesting people like Lana are invited to speak.
Well, then about 6 years before I retired from the newspaper here in Springfield, I decided I wanted to raise alpacas. I had done a lot of research, and they're just pretty. They're just pretty animals, and I read that at night you can go out to their barn and they hum, and they all go to the bathroom in the same place. And I thought, this is what I want. Now, I wasn't sure about the shearing. Those of you that have been out have seen my dog Fergus, and I don't do good with shearing, and I don't know how to weave, so I wasn't sure about that. So I asked my husband, and he said, let's just start with a few goats. And then I saw where Tennessee fainting goats had originated in Lewisburg, and that's where my mother was from. So that just really thrilled me.
Family is essential to Lana, and she's glad hers is still close by. But these little ones are also her family, and she loves having them live right here with her on the farm.
They're just sweet. They're just sweet, sweet nature. They remember things. If they go back, they go somewhere and they come back, they remember you. They know you. And they're just wonderful creatures. They're just wonderful.
But myotonic goats are a bit odd, unconventional, unusual, and uncommon.
They will faint if they get startled or something different happens that they're not used to. They'll faint, and it's only for a second or two. They'll fall down, and then they'll get back up and they're fine.
We're incredibly curious, but hesitant to do anything to surprise them. But then one accidentally bumps into a bucket as they're all crowding toward the barn. The bucket hits a piece of sheet metal, and as if on cue, resulting from the noise caused by that chain reaction, the little goat goes down. We didn't see it happen, but turned just in time to see it recover and reconvene with the others. They've been labeled over the years as endangered, threatened, and at risk. But now, thanks to registered breeders like Lana, they are designated as recovering.
I like the sweet ones, but they get beat up on a lot because they all have like a pecking order, like chickens do. They have a pecking order, but I like the sweet ones that don't butt the others. And there's always a matriarch who leads the whole herd, and it's a female, always a female, and she's a matriarch, and she's the boss.
Make no mistake, Lana Osborne is the matriarch on this acreage. She's not only raising a herd of extremely sought-after Tennessee fainting goats and selling eggs from her 6 dozen chickens, but she's her own boss, producing other Tennessee products like candles and soap displayed just inside her back door.
Well, it just all came up, just a little bit at a time. I started making the soap because a friend had suggested it, and it seemed like fun because I've always loved to go to nice stores and sniff soap, and I've just always liked a nice soap. And then people will suggest a soap. A neighbor came to me and she said, "Can you make a soap with jewelweed?" She said, "That's the only thing my granddaughter can use, and I'm paying $23 a bar because it helps my daughter's skin." And so I ordered a little bar of jewelweed, and I looked up, did research, and found a recipe that I thought I could use, and now that's my best-selling soap. It's called Stop the Itch, and more people buy it than anything else. Who knew everybody was itching? But it's really, really good. People really like it, and a lot of men like it. A lot of men will have their wives come by and get it for them. And I use all herbs from my garden. I have a little herb garden over there. Well, it's kind of a mess right now because it's winter, but and then I dry them. So everything is natural and from Tennessee that I grew. So yeah, except for things like I couldn't grow, like the jewelweed, I had to order it. But yeah, everything's natural and from Tennessee.
In the fall, you'll find Lana and her husband Will Ed growing and selling affordably priced pumpkins to sustain their family farm.
We have some of the same people and their families have come for generations now, and we enjoy them coming, and they always want to go see the goats and go out and see them, and they'll buy soap while they're here, and they'll buy a candle while they're here, and we visit with them. It's like family to us.
And 1 month after our first visit, just like family, we are back, anxious to see all the babies that have now been born.
He wants me. He wants me, yeah. Oh, you just pulled my beard. Look at you.
This is the day when I love my job. I could not be any happier.
I think that's Isaiah's.
Most of the babies born to Lana's babies will be sold as pets, while some will compete all across the country in championship goat shows.
My husband can look at a goat and he can tell you what they're looking for. He can see what the judges are looking for, but I can't. I just love them because of their sweet nature. Hey, sweeties, y'all are good babies. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
In Cross Plains, I'm Annette Noel Hall on the Wild Side.
Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Hey, babies.
Lana and her husband Will Ed also raise cattle, corn, and soybeans. You can find out more about their Tennessee farm on our website, wildsidetv.com.